Day 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. Bro, what am I doing? Anyway, we are going to be going over rejection blocks. I love rejection blocks. This is a concept by ICT. Powell loves rejection blocks if you know who he is. Rejection blocks, what are they? How do we use them? This is how you get high RR. High RR, decently win rates. Rejection blocks are the wicks of a candle that rejects off something. Hence the name, super simple. This is a great example of rejection block. Right here, we have two equal highs. This right here, this candle right here, sweeps liquidity and rejects it. Oh my goodness, great. So right here, rejection block. When the next candle forms, you want it to tap into the rejection block, and then we head lower. Wow, nice. Let's take a look at here. Let's take a look at this. You can also use rejection blocks off of fair value gaps. If you don't want to enter straight off of fair value gap, let's say we have right here, this price taps in and rejects this fair value gap, or yeah, it rejects off this fair value gap. We create this rejection block, and you could have entered right here on this rejection block, stop at the low of the rejection block, because if we disrespect this as well as the fair value gap, we were most likely to see lower. And bam. Crazy. This right here, let's take one where we actually would take a trade on, okay? Okay, great. Usually, it would be taking off a key level open or something like that. So let's say we have our 10 a.m. key open right here. Waiting, and we see this candle taps this key level, right? We learned key levels, great. So it rejects off this key level while taking minor buy side liquidity, as well as our order block right here. This is the bullish before the bearish move. Order block right here lines up perfectly to the 50%, so we know price rejected off of this. Reject block. We can see here price tap the CE. What does CE mean? CE just means 50%. Okay, 50%. You could have had a stop right above the key level at this reject block, and you could have just target minus SI efficiency. Wow, RR 6.36, which means if you risked 100, you would have made $636. Nice. We can also take this, where I was talking about taking this in a trade breakdown where we got the inverse. We had an SMT right here. This was right after 9:30, so this was our 9:30 manipulation. 9:30 was right here. I don't know why there is a gap missing candle at 9:34. My trading view is bugging. But we see here we would have been able to tap in after this inverse was created. And then we could have targeted the 9:30 high, which is right here. And that would have gave you a 1 to 2.75. Now what happens if we use a rejection block? A rejection block would be this candle right here, because we rejected off of a 5-minute order block right here, tapped into this 1 minute for BPR. And I forgot to touch this upon, but I'm going to touch it now. A BPR just means an inverse for value gap and a regular for value gap overlapping. Super simple. Makes it 2 times stronger, basically, just like 2FA authentication. I don't even know if that even makes sense. I don't know what I was saying, but basically it's double on double, and or 1-on-1. It's a double, and we have this rejection block right here. This rejection block is the candle that rejected off of everything, and rejection blocks are more powerful when the candle closes within the previous candle right here. So this body of this candle is closed inside of this wick, right? We push past this wick, but then we close inside of this wick right here, right? Let's say if this body of this candle closed right here, the probability of the rejection block working is rather low. Closing above means that buyers are stepping in. We have this rejection block right here. You could have entered right here off your rejection block, stop right under the CE, targeting the 9:30 a.m. And instead of having a 1 to 2 RR, you now have a 1 to 6.5. Wow. There's a rejection block right here where price tapped into a higher time frame. We have this right here on the CE. You could have done a 10-point stop targeting the low. Wow. 1 to 7.5. Again, rejection blocks, you can't just enter off of them. They're going to have super low probability. You're just going to be entering rejection block after rejection block after rejection, and you're just going to get ran through because rejection blocks can easily be ran through. For example, if you had this rejection block right here, you entered, you would have been wicked out. If you entered off of this rejection block right here, entered right here, you would have been stopped out. If you entered off of this rejection block right here, you would have been stopped out. Do you get what I'm saying? It has to line up, okay? Here, great example of a rejection block. We sweep this sell side, buy side liquidity right here as we learned. And instead of waiting for the inverse right here and taking it from here, which makes our RR super low, we could have taken it off of this rejection block right here. Stop at the high of the rejection block and targeting the other side of liquidity. 1 to 13.6. Nice. Okay. So that is pretty much all I got. You can work this on every single time frame. So let's say, for example, we have a 1 hour rejection block right here, right? We have a 1 hour rejection block and we want to scroll down to the 1 minute time frame. On this 1 minute time frame, we see this rejection block ends right here, right? So right here is the start of our new candle. The candle comes up. We know it's in a rejection block. We can use it to our advantage. Once we see price coming back down, we can take our sell right here, stop above this. And this would have been a 1 hour rejection play, 1 to 6. Understood? Understand? What I want you to do, go on your chart, find rejection blocks, see what works, see what doesn't. This right here is also a rejection block. It gets barely tapped in. If I zoom in, wow. Literally just a little tick right here, taps, moves. Okay. Super high RR, low win rate. That's what you get. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I want you guys to go find rejection blocks, pair them with other confluence, pair them with key levels, pair them with all sorts of things. All right. And see what works, see what doesn't, journal it, forward test it, do what you gotta do, try and get as much information as possible. And I'll see you in the next video.